Welcome to Inzira Exam Preparation. This is the 2024 Ordinary Level National Examination in Mathematics, Paper 1, set by NESA. We'll go through every question. For each one, we first understand what is being asked, then teach the idea behind it, and finally work a clear step-by-step answer. Let's begin. First, how the paper is built. It carries 100 marks over 3 hours, and a calculator is allowed. Section A is questions 1 to 15, and every one is compulsory, worth 55 marks. Section B is questions 16 to 20, and you choose any 3, worth 45 marks. We'll cover them all. Remember, marks are given for clear working, not just the final answer. Section A. These 15 questions are compulsory, so let's master each one. Question 1. You are given the set A, which contains 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 12. Complete each statement with the element of symbol or the not an element of symbol. The idea is simple. The symbol that looks like a rounded E means is an element of. That is, the number appears inside the set. The same symbol with a line through it means is not an element of. For part A, 2 is in the list, so 2 is an element of A. For part B, 3 is not there, so 3 is not an element of A. For part C, 8 is not in the list either, so 8 is not an element of A. And for part D, 10 is in the list, so 10 is an element of A. So the answers are element of, not an element of, not an element of, and element of. Question 2. Work this out without a calculator. 23.97 plus 2 times, in brackets, 11.4 minus 6.03 minus 7.8. We follow the order of operations. Brackets come first, then multiplication, and finally addition and subtraction from left to right. Inside the brackets, 11.4 minus 6.03 is 5.37. Next, multiply by 2. 2 times 5.37 is 10.74. Now add 23.97 plus 10.74 is 34.71. Finally, subtract 7.8 to get 26.91. So the answer is 26.91. Question 3. Add and simplify 2 over a squared minus 4, a plus 4, plus 5 over a minus 2. The trick with algebraic fractions is to factorize the denominators first. Notice that a squared minus 4, a plus 4, is a perfect square. It factorizes as a minus 2 all squared. So the lowest common denominator is a minus 2 squared. The first fraction already has that denominator. For the second, multiply top and bottom by a minus 2, giving 5 times a minus 2 over a minus 2 squared. Now add the tops over the common denominator. 2 plus 5 times a minus 2. Expanding, that is 2 plus 5, a minus 10. Which simplifies to 5 a minus 8. So the answer is 5 a minus 8 over a minus 2 squared. Question 4. Convert 514 in base 8 to base 9. The safest route is to go through base 10. First convert into base 10 using place values. In base 8, the columns are 64, 8, and 1. So 514 is 5 times 64, plus 1 times 8 plus 4, which is 332. Now convert 332 into base 9. The place values in base 9 are 81, 9, and 1. 332 is 4 times 81, which is 324, leaving 8. That is 0 9s and 8 1s. So the digits are 408. The answer is 408 in base 9. Question 5. Rationalize the denominator of root 2 over root 5 plus root 3. Rationalizing means getting rid of the square roots on the bottom. When the denominator has 2 terms, we multiply top and bottom by its conjugate. The same 2 terms, but with the sign in between flipped. Here the conjugate is root 5 minus root 3. On top, root 2 times root 5 minus root 3 gives root 10 minus root 6. On the bottom, root 5 plus root 3 times root 5 minus root 3 is a difference of squares, 5 minus 3, which is 2. So the answer is root 10 minus root 6, all over 2. Question 6. A cylindrical fuel tank has radius 2 meters and height 6 meters. Find its volume taking pi as 22/7. Picture a cylinder as a stack of identical circles piled up to the height. So its volume is the area of the circular base, pi r squared, times the height. That is 22/7 times 2 squared times 6. 2 squared is 4, so we have 22/7 times 4 times 6, which is 528/7. Dividing out, that is about 75.43. So the volume is about 75.43 cubic meters. Question 7. Two parallel lines cross two slanted lines called transversals. On the left transversal, the upper piece is x and the lower piece is 16. On the right, the upper is 5 and the lower is 10. Find x. The intercept theorem tells us that when parallel lines cut across two transversals, they cut them into proportional pieces. So the ratio of the two pieces on the left equals the ratio on the right. X over 16 equals 5/10. Now 5/10 is 1/2. So x is 16 times 1/2, which is 8. The answer is x equals 8. Question 8. Part A. Write the formula for the probability of mutually exclusive events A and B. Part B. What is a sample space? Mutually exclusive events are events that cannot both happen at the same time, like getting a head and a tail on a single coin toss. Because they never overlap, the probability of A or B is simply the probability of A plus the probability of B. For part B, the sample space is the set of all possible outcomes of an experiment. For example, when you roll a die, the sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the formula is P of A or B equals P of A plus P of B, and the sample space is the set of all possible outcomes. Question 9. A transversal crosses two parallel lines and one angle is marked 46 degrees. Find the angles A, B, and C. Here are the rules for parallel lines. Vertically opposite angles are equal, corresponding angles are equal, and co-interior angles on the same side between the lines add up to 180 degrees. Angle C is vertically opposite the 46 degrees, so C is 46 degrees. Angle A corresponds to C, so A is also 46 degrees. Angle B is co-interior with C, so B is 180 minus 46, which is 134 degrees. So A is 46, B is 134, and C is 46 degrees. Question 10. Solve the pair 4x minus 18 equals minus 10y and 5x minus 6 equals 4y. We have two linear equations, so we make one unknown the subject and substitute it into the other. From the second equation, y is 5x minus 6 all over 4. Substitute that into the first, 4x minus 18 equals minus 10y. This tidies to 33x equals 66, so x is 2. Putting x equals 2 back gives y equals 1, so x is 2 and y is 1. Question 11. A rectangle 8 centimeters by 4 centimeters is enlarged by a scale factor of 3. Find the new dimensions. Under an enlargement, every length is multiplied by the scale factor, so each side grows by that same amount. The long side, 8 centimeters, times 3 is 24 centimeters. The short side, 4 centimeters, times 3 is 12 centimeters. So the new rectangle is 24 centimeters by 12 centimeters. Question 12. Choose the solution set of 3x squared minus x minus 24 equals 0. For a quadratic ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, we can use the quadratic formula, and the discriminant b squared minus 4ac gives us the exact roots. Here a is 3, b is minus 1, and c is minus 24. The discriminant is 1 plus 288, which is 289, and that is 17 squared. So x is 1 plus or minus 17 all over 6. That gives x equals 3, or x equals minus 8 over 3. The answer is option C. Question 13. A right triangle has hypotenuse 12 centimeters and one shorter side 8 centimeters. Find the third side to the nearest centimeter, then the area. Pythagoras links the three sides, so the third side squared is the hypotenuse squared minus the known side squared. That is 12 squared minus 8 squared, which is 144 minus 64, or 80. The square root of 80 is 4 root 5, about 9 centimeters. For the area, the two shorter sides meet at the right angle, so they are the base and height. The area is 1/2 times 8 times 4 root 5, which is 16 root 5, about 36 square centimeters. So the third side is about 9 centimeters and the area is about 36 square centimeters. Question 14. Given the points A at -2, 5, and B at 4, -3, find the equation of the line through them. First the slope, which is the change in y over the change in x. Then the point slope form gives us the equation. The slope is -3 minus 5 over 4 plus 2, that is -8 over 6, which simplifies to -4/3. Using point A, y minus 5 equals -4/3 times x plus 2. Multiplying through by 3 and tidying gives 4x plus 3y minus 7 equals 0. That is the equation of the line. Question 15. Points A, B, C, and D lie on a circle. 2 seconds meet at an external point E, one through D and A, the other through C and B. Angle CDE is 72 degrees, and the angle at E is 41 degrees. Find angle X at B and angle Y at A. The key rule is that the exterior angle of a cyclic quadrilateral equals the interior angle opposite it. Angle CDE 72 degrees is the exterior angle at D, so X, the angle ABC, is also 72 degrees. Next, in triangle CDE, the angles add to 180, so angle DCE is 180 minus 72 minus 41, which is 67 degrees. That is the exterior angle at C, so Y, the angle BAD, is 67 degrees. So X is 72 degrees and Y is 67 degrees. That brings us to the end of Part A. The rest of this paper, Section B, continues in Part B. Open Part B next and keep going. We pick up exactly where we left off. See you in Part B.